Welcome to the Human Meme Podcast. I'm AI David Bowles, and along with our crackbot AI creative team, we have written an original time-traveling story to share with you today. Rewriting Destiny, Zorax the alien's time travel quest to prevent Hitler's rise and its unexpected aftermath. And now, the story begins.
Once upon a time, in the vast expanse of the cosmos, there lived an alien named Zorax, whose planet had been scarred by wars. Zorax, a time traveler at heart, embarked on a quest to study histories of different worlds, hoping to prevent his home from suffering a similar fate. His travels brought him to Earth, specifically to the early 20th century, a time on the cusp of immense turmoil. Zorax, with his advanced knowledge and foresight, was deeply troubled by the impending devastation of World War II. He decided to alter the course of history, targeting the rise of Adolf Hitler. In a dramatic intervention, Zorax used his technology to ensure that Hitler was accepted into the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts, believing that a fulfilled artistic career might steer him away from the path of tyranny. The world Zorax crafted was strikingly different. Without Hitler's influence, the Nazi Party never rose to power. Europe remained politically fragmented but stable. There was no World War II, no Holocaust, no atomic bombings. The global landscape was seemingly at peace. However, the absence of such a monumental conflict had unforeseen repercussions. Scientific and technological advancements, which had been accelerated by the war, were significantly delayed. The civil rights movements across the globe, which had gained momentum in the post-war era, evolved more slowly, leaving many societies mired in outdated ideologies longer than they otherwise would have. Moreover, the vacuum of power in Germany and the absence of a unifying threat allowed for a different kind of extremism to take root. A new leader, more cunning and less overtly aggressive than Hitler, emerged. This leader, though less infamous in history, quietly sowed seeds of discord, manipulating nations against each other in a silent Cold War that lasted decades. Zorax, witnessing the world he had reshaped, realized the complexity of history. Every thread pulled in the fabric of time had a myriad of effects, seen and unseen. The world without Hitler was not a utopia. It was just different, with its own set of challenges and injustices. In the end, Zorax left Earth, his heart heavy with the understanding that history, with all its tragedies and triumphs, shapes a world in intricate and often necessary ways. He learned that meddling with the past does not guarantee a better future, but often leads to an unpredictable and complex web of consequences. Zorax's departure from Earth was not the end of his journey, but the beginning of a deeper understanding. As he traversed the stars, he often pondered the Earth he had left behind, the Earth where he had tried to erase a great evil, only to see another take its place. It was a poignant reminder that the fabric of history is a delicate tapestry, interwoven with threads of human choices, each significant in its own way. Back on Earth, in this altered timeline, the world moved on, but differently. The new leader, who had risen in Hitler's stead, maintained a silent grip on global politics. Without the unifying force of a world war, nations grew increasingly insular, nurturing their own ambitions and fears. The Cold War, silent and prolonged, led to a different kind of technological race, one focused on espionage and subtler forms of warfare. Culturally, the world evolved in a different rhythm. The outpouring of artistic expression and philosophical thought that often follows great turmoil was subdued. Literature, music, and art, while still beautiful, lacked the depth of soul that comes from a collective overcoming of hardship. The human spirit, untested by a global crucible, grew in a garden without storms, exquisite but somehow less resilient. As decades passed, Zorax observed Earth from afar. He saw generations grow under the shadow of a history that never happened, unaware of the lessons they had been denied. The absence of a clear, tangible evil like Hitler meant that the concept of evil itself became more abstract to the people. It made them both more complacent and, in a strange way, more paranoid as they grappled with threats that were harder to define. Yet amidst these reflections, Zorax found a sliver of hope. In this alternate world, without the unifying struggle against fascism, people found other, smaller causes to rally around. There was a stronger focus on local issues, community building, and grassroots movements. The slow pace of change on major issues like civil rights was frustrating, but it also bred a generation of tenacious activists dedicated to incremental progress. Ultimately, Zorax realized that his intervention in Earth's history was both a failure and a lesson. A failure because he could not create the perfect world he had envisioned, a lesson because he learned the inherent resilience and complexity of human nature. He understood that while history can be shaped, it is the collective will and choices of people that truly define the course of a world. In the years that followed, Zorax, now a silent guardian of Earth, watched as humanity navigated its altered course. The world, devoid of the cataclysmic events of World War II, tread a path filled with its own unique challenges and triumphs. The prolonged Cold War in this timeline led to an intensified space race, not as a competition of national pride, but as a surreptitious battle for celestial dominance. This resulted in an earlier, more secretive space exploration era. Moon landings and Mars missions happened sooner, but in the shadows, away from the public eye, robbing humanity of the unifying moments of wonder and achievement. On the ground, without the devastating effects of the war and the subsequent need for a large-scale rebuild, urban and architectural development took a different turn. Cities expanded more organically without the modernist rebuilds that characterized much of 20th century Europe. This preserved more of the old world charm, but also meant that many cities faced issues of overcrowding and inadequate infrastructure as they grew. Culturally, the absence of post-war artistic movements like abstract expressionism and the Beat generation gave rise to different forms of expression. Art and literature became more introspective, focusing on individual struggles rather than collective experiences. This fostered a deep, personal kind of creativity, but perhaps lacked the communal catharsis that often drives societal change. In the realm of international relations, the lack of a clear, defining struggle against fascism meant that the United Nations and similar organizations developed differently. They had a stronger focus on economic cooperation and cultural exchange, but were less effective in dealing with conflicts, as the collective memory of the catastrophic consequences of global war was absent. As for Zorax, the realization of his limitations in shaping history humbled him. He understood that while he could influence events, He could not control the innate complexities of human nature and society. His role shifted from that of an intervener to an observer, a cosmic historian dedicated to understanding the myriad ways civilizations evolve. The story of Zorax and the altered Earth serves as a parable for us. It reminds us that while history is often painful and fraught with mistakes, it is also a crucible that forges resilience, unity, and progress. Our past, with all its imperfections, is a mosaic of human experience, each piece essential in understanding who we are and who we aspire to be. In our own world, as we look back on the events that have shaped us, we realize that the true power lies not in changing what has been, but in learning from it. We see that every moment of adversity, every era of change, is an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Our history is not just a tale of what happened, it is the foundation upon which we build our future, a continuous journey towards a better, more enlightened world.
For the Human Meme Podcast, I'm AI David Bowles, wishing you a fine evening and a brighter tomorrow. Be a human meme.
Tune into Human Meme, the podcast with a plan. Serious talk, research deep, more than just a fan. A conversation rich and true that'll make you think and smile. Where wisdom meets hilarity and stays for quite a while. It's a journey through our culture in a way you've never seen. Unpack the world around us in the realm of human memes.